Welcome to today's presentation. So we are going to see how our history has been completely faked. Okay, so just like our Earth, the shape of the Earth, our history is also a big time fake. So we have to kind of reboot from the beginning. So I'm going to show you some of the clues that may reveal the real nature of our past. Okay, this may be new knowledge for many of us. So prerequisites is kind of prerequisites are not necessary that you have to know all these things, but it would help if you know these things already. So first of all, we live on a flat and motionless plane. We are not living on a spinning ball. So if you do not know anything about this, I suggest you go back and watch the previous live stream. We live on a flat motionless earth, part 1 and awakening. So it is there on Facebook, BitChute and YouTube. And you may know this, carbon dating is a big time lie. I have discussed about this in another live stream, scams you believe in. This world is not what you think it is. It is there on YouTube, Facebook, and BitChute. You can see that. You should also be knowing by this time that this pandemic, which is going on right now, the big time, one of the biggest scams ever pulled on humanity, this is false. People are really falling sick because of the chemtrails, electromagnetic frequency radiations, especially 5G, very toxic food like GMO, and also there is a yearly detoxification cycle that happens for us every flu season, right? There is nothing to really worry about any of this. And another big scam is coming, which is the vaccine scam. Okay, so that is for another time. So for now, if you know all of these things already, then you are all set for this discussion. So you will really enjoy this one because this builds on top of these truths. Okay. Now, if you know that the news is fake, just imagine how bad the history is going to be. And yes, whatever you imagine the history to be so badly fake, it is even more fake than what you may think. Okay, the whole thing is fake. So just what do you think this one is in this picture? You would say this is some kind of a rock which has eroded over millions of years and somehow it has formed like this. The truth may be very far from that one. So this is very likely to be a petrified giant tree. Okay, so somebody has cut this tree over here. That is one possibility. Another possibility is that this is part of a giant being, a biological being, just like a human being, but except that the being may be extremely big. Okay, so moving on. So here is the various ages we have come across in terms of material developments, right? The Stone Age, which is supposed to be 3000 years BC before that, and then we jump around to Bronze Age, then came Iron Age, then Middle Ages, Industrial Era, and the Information Age. Right now we are living. But right there is very funny things, right? If you look at it, the most abundant element on Earth, if you go back and check the science, it says aluminium, right? You have silicon, then the next one is aluminium, and third one is iron. Okay, but no, the earliest people completely skipped aluminium, iron, and even porcelain, which is you just heat up your normal sand and you get ceramics. It's as simple as that, right? No, the earliest people used bronze, right? You have copper and they figured out how to do tin and then they mixed it all this up and they cooked up, they came up with the bronze and then they made all of these things, right? And they worked with the clay, papyrus, gold, silk, and these things, right? So that is all they could do. They completely missed somehow, which is the aluminium and iron, which is all over the place. That is very funny, right? Then came apparently the Iron Age. Okay, so they figured out how to make steel, and they figured out how to make glass and so on and so forth. And then came Middle Ages and so on and so forth, right? So the biggest disruption over here is this Bronze Age. Okay, this is the time frame, and possibly more towards all of these time frames, there was an advanced civilization. So in this presentation, we will see some of the clues to that effect. Okay, here I'm going to cover only three things, that too very briefly. One is the star force, about star force. The second one is massive advanced architecture which do not fit the mainstream narrative. And third one is about petrified giants. Very brief introduction. Now, star force. Okay, so star force literally means force in the shape of stars. Okay, these forces are all over the place, all over the world. Okay, they're everywhere, except in our textbooks. Okay, you cannot find anything about star force in any textbook. Okay, because once you know about star force, you will start questioning many things, which will lead you to the true history that nobody wants. The ruling class do not want you to get on to that kind of inquiry. So they simply removed star force from everything. Okay, so here is the Aligarh fort. Okay, so this is a very normal fort. So this was built for defending people and property, and this is very poorly designed and constructed. You can see that it is nothing, great. Okay, so it's a haphazard construction. As you go, you build these kind of defenses and have some large space inside and so on. This is not a star fort. Okay, so this is a regular fort which is very likely built recently, probably on top of a star fort which existed before this. And here is a true star fort. Okay, what a beautiful structure. So this is very close to Bangalore, called Manjarabad Fort. Okay, so I can bet that most of the people in Bangalore do not know anything about this particular fort. Okay, nobody goes there. It is completely neglected. Mainstream media do not talk about this fort at all that much. Okay, so this is a brilliant star fort. You can see that the star is perfect, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 face star. Okay, so it's there. Now I'm going to go to our Google Earth. Okay, I'll show you this. So this is where our star fort is. It's an absolutely brilliant fort. The thing is, what exactly are we trying to achieve in this fort? Okay, this is a very small place. If you look at it, these are some of the other constructions around. This is a small place. There is nothing much you really do inside. So why was this even built, right? That is a big question mark. You can say, yeah, it is to build for defending things. No, I don't think so. Nothing to defend over here. This is way out of any civilized place, right? It is out of nowhere. It is in nowhere. This star fort is. Okay, so let us okay, so where is this okay, here is one star fort. Where are the other star forts? Okay, so the other star forts is all over the place. Okay, and they have the very same kind of architecture. Okay, I am going to take you all the way to very near North Pole. Let's go there. Here you go. This is in an island. I don't remember the name, but this is also out of nowhere. Okay, so this is if you look where this island is somewhere very near Sailbank. Okay, so this is somewhere in Russia. Okay, and it's very close to the North Pole region, North Pole region, right? So let's go here, right? And if you see, the structure is exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 petal star. Okay, the internal structure is also very, very similar. And this is also out of nowhere. Okay, so now the real question is both are buried. They are buried in some kind of sand or mud. Okay, and very, very similar looking. And architecture is exactly the same. So somebody built one star fort in near Bangalore, India, and another star fort somewhere near the North Pole. Okay, so what does this really mean? So these forts are supposed to be one was supposed to be built by Tipu Sultan in India, that Manjaribad fort. In South India, if you go to any good structure, they will say this was built by Tipu Sultan. He's a default guy. For everything, it is Tipu Sultan. But truth is not that. Okay, they are very, very different. So similarly, these fort, I have not really explored what the history is, but you can go look it up. It's an amazing structure. Okay, now let us come out of this, and why our textbooks do not talk about any of these forts, right? Okay, let's go all the way to here, Europe. Oh, what a perfect another star fort, right? It's amazing. The geometrical shape, a perfect four-corner star fort, and it's very likely you can see that it is in a crevasse, not crevasse. What do you say? It's a depression. The land is depressed, and then the star fort was inside this. Is inside this. So very likely there was some flood, the mud flood kind of a thing that came over, and then somebody dug this out. Okay, so this star fort must have existed before the soil and mud covered this, and then somebody dug this thing out. As you can see, this is also another example of multiple constructions. You can see this four corner structure is the latest one, and then underneath that is these things 1, 2, 3, 4. These things existed very likely underneath this. Okay, so you can see that it is not something like new construction. This was built on top of this, and then whatever structure these are, they are very likely to be part of this one, or even before this one got constructed. Maybe there are some at least 2 fort constructions underneath this the last one. Okay, that is amazing. So who built all these things? Why are they building in the same place over and over? What is so important about this place? Right? There's nothing special about this place as far as our modern times are concerned. Right? This is another part of a regular place. There's nothing here we can see. Okay. Now let us go and take a look at another star fort somewhere near Black Sea. Okay, so the timeline is all messed up. Okay, so this is the earliest date by which we have some data. As you can see, this entire thing is converted into fields for agriculture. You can see this is also a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 petal star. It must have been the same amazing geometrically perfect star fort, just like other things. So there are only this much. This is the latest image available. So it is further and further fading away. Okay, so in the previous one it was slightly better visible, but with this one it is again fading further. So after some time this will be completely gone. So why did people build this star fort? What was this inside? Again, it is out of nowhere. There's towns around. That's it. Nothing major over here. And let us go to another place. Okay, this is again, where are we? Yeah, Russia, somewhere near Russia. Now let's go to another amazing star fort, again in Europe. another amazing star fort. This is another structure, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-pointed star. You can see that around that is some more structures, and outside of that is multiple constructions. Okay, so you can see many more things over here that got constructed. So the official narrative is that some thing built this, and then it had very advanced strategic defense over this particular fort to defend themselves against whatever enemies they have. That is not really the case, because these are all. Why should somebody come and attack here where they have all the kind of complex structures? What happened to all the other sides, right? These are that is a very fundamental question for which there is no answer for that. And why is it in this particular shape, and why this particular shape is all over the world? Again, there is no answer to those questions, right? So we have a problem, and it's rather stunning to look at this fort in person. I'll show you a photograph of that. Now let's go to another star fort. This star fort is again in Europe, I think, somewhere. Now let's go to another one here in Europe. See, again, this is another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star, very similar to the one which we just now saw. Okay, so again, out of nowhere, and the city has developed all around it, and they have preserved this probably just out of curiosity, I guess. Now let's go way out over here. This, I think, is in Taiwan. Let me see. Yeah, it's somewhere in Taiwan. So you can see that this is also a 4-star fort. You can see the same triangle structure is all there, and it is there in Taiwan. So you have the same similar structure in Europe, and then you have it in Taiwan also. And let me go to the last one. This is again a 5-star fort. Okay, but you will be amazed to see where this particular fort is. It is completely ruined. Ruined meaning nobody cares about it anymore. So this is somewhere near Papua New Guinea. Okay, this is in Bandaneira Island. This is an island which is nowhere practically. This is Banda Sea. And this is the main Australia landmass. This is Papua New Guinea, and this island is somewhere here. Okay, so let's zoom in again. Why would somebody go there and build a star fort? For what purpose? To defend exactly what? What are you going to defend with this kind of a structure, and that too geometrically perfect pentagon? Okay, so. There are a few things which you can definitely remove, saying, drop from the possibilities. One thing is for defending and protecting property. That is definitely not the case. Okay, so now let us go back. Manjaribath visa, Vadonas visa. This is Ukraine, the last one visa. And then this is in Portugal, multiple constructions visa. And then this is in Netherlands. Okay, so, and this one is in Spain. And this I forgot to put the name. And this again a star fort in Taiwan visa. And this is in somewhere nowhere near Papua New Guinea. Okay, Australia. Now they're everywhere. Okay, so let me show you why it is everywhere. Let me just enable this one and then zoom out all the way. You can see that the black stars, the black spots are star forts. Okay, you can see that Europe is full of them, not because they are not found elsewhere, but because there are so many people who are aware. they are able to go visit these places and then capture these locations. Okay, it is all over the place. Even in Africa, it is there. Okay, so in India, it is in multiple places. In many places, it is all gone. Okay, it is there here in Australia, probably not in Australia, but all these South Asian islands, places, countries. Okay, so they are in Russia, Ukraine, everywhere it is there. So they are all over. And they have the very same kind of architectures. Only 2 or 3 variations are there. Except that it's all the same. They are very distinct from the other forts which were built for protecting property and people from invading enemies or whatever. And in every fort, the official history is all cooked up. It's very irritating to hear all these cooked up history. So nowadays I just skip it. I completely skip that part and go start looking at the fort myself. Okay, and then they're perfectly constructed. It's it's amazing. You feel a sense of gratification to just look at them, right? The Manjari Fort, which we saw first, is a perfect 8-star structure. It's so good. And they appear to be buried in some kind of a mud, and they appear in very remote places where building a fort like that makes really no sense. And some of these points are built over and over, and with different sizes, different styles. Okay, and it is definitely not for defending anything or protection or storage. We really do not know what the purpose is. Okay, so there are some theories which are doing the rounds. Some people say that it is to build an energy grid across our world, where these star forts are used as a pivot points to generate that particular energy field. So I don't know. I mean that may be a reason. I have no idea. But whatever the official narrative is telling, that is definitely not the purpose. Okay. So because they are all over the place, this is a very clear evidence that there was a global civilization, and that too not in a faraway past. It must have existed pretty recently, because many of these star forts are not not even a couple of thousand years old, right? They are very recent. So by exploring star forts, we can learn a lot of things. Okay, of our real past. And this image, it is not about the star fort, but as I was exploring this mud flood, this is somewhere in Russia-China border, I think. Here is the clear, there is the envelope of the mud flood coming in from somewhere, and you can see very strange patterns over here on the wall of the mud. Right, this is the thickness of that mud. This is land below that, and you can see this very strange markings. I don't know what this is, but it was very curious, as if a giant child took a small stick and then drew images on these things, right? That is how this one looks like. See, these are all there. This, but I have no idea what this is. Okay, so now let us explore another thing, which are huge size and geometrically perfect structures, buildings, and architectures. Okay, and these are really out of the ordinary. These are 2 huge buildings that exist all over the world again, without any much of an explanation. They are too big for normal human life. It will be very inconvenient for human life actually. And they are perfect in geometry, and they have enormous size and brilliant architectures. And they are built to last. Okay, you can see that these buildings have been existing for a very long time. And of course, I have to skip the blabberings from that historians. It really doesn't add up anything. And the timelines also don't add up. Whatever they keep giving all kind of timelines. So they say only it was built the last century. Some are built in 15th century. Some are built in BC, Roman Empire, and blah blah. It's all rubbish. Now, before we go there, and I have spent a lot of time looking through the official narratives. I find these phrases, right? They'll say, "Oh, it's a mystery," which means that they are either hiding something or they don't know. And they say, "Yeah, there are many unexplained objects found in this site." Okay, again, this is deceptive, and they say nobody knows what this means. And UNESCO heritage site, this is a biggie. Right, whenever you see this tag, UNESCO heritage site, you can be rest assured that they are hiding something over there. For sure. This is absolutely a red flag. And national park, okay, so wherever there are important things, if you look at these important things, you will immediately come to know that there is something wrong with the official narrative of our history of this world. So they declare all these areas are national parks, and they don't allow people to go in. And in many of these forts, many of the star forts and many of the other structures for which no explanation really exists, right? They will say, yeah, to commemorate a king's victory, or to honor his wife, a particular king has built this structure. and the structure has no relationship to the kind of purpose for which it is looking at, right? Very, very strange things. And this one also, it is built as a temporary structure, but later it was abandoned. So whenever you see these kind of phrases, know that they are very likely hiding evidence of what those structures really are. And look at this door. Okay, so this is Batalha Monastery. Yeah, it's in a monastery in Portugal, and the photo was taken in 1900, and it was supposedly built in 1385. Okay, and of course it is declared as a UNESCO heritage site, and it is just too big. And the site has been standing for how long? 600 years? That is amazing. It has not even lost its architecture, frills, right? All these frills are still there. Everything is still there. And tiny humans. And why would anybody build such a massive entrance to any building where the human size is only this much? What about security? What about manpower and material? Okay, so and grand architecture. It's geometrically perfect. Okay, if you really measure, put a line over here and measure, you will see that the symmetry is not even a few millimeters off. Even after all this time, people have done these kind of measurements, right? If you just divide it exactly here, and the center line and match this between this side and this side, not even millimeters off. It is that perfect. And look at the same thing inside, right? Oh, look at this grandness. Oh, amazing stuff. And light is coming through, which means that it has been standing in light exposure, and very likely wind and water or whatever, right? It's all there. But it is retaining its grandness. It's amazing stuff. And obviously it's standing for 600 years, still retaining its original grandeur to such an extent. If it was built to our specification, 100 years is max we will have. And no cracks, right? If you can see, there are no cracks. This outside of the monastery, so-called monastery. This is nothing to do with monastery, obviously. And you can see that they are tiny humans. And the windows are just too big for a normal human size, and they are too far away from the ground. And very likely this is the top floor of a giant building. Okay, so the rest of the floors are buried below, and there is a proof for that. I'll show you one example later. And you can see that these are all there are many conical structures on the top. Okay, so these are you can see them in all these advanced buildings across the world. You can see these structures. There are more structures on the top, and they usually remove all those structures out and leave out these towers just like an ornament. But I think very likely these towers had a purpose. Very likely maybe some kind of an energy concentration device or something like that. I don't know. Okay, this is another tower. This time this is in Iran, Tehran. Okay, so Bagh-e Malik Gate. amazing size, and what an incredible handwork, right? It is a brilliant styling. Huge gate again. So who on a daily basis is very difficult to manage this kind of gates, but these gates do exist. And Japan, right? Very similar structure, again a huge gate. And of course, this has been meticulously maintained. But you can see that they have preserved the original structure of the gate. Whoever built this a long time ago, they have just maintained it as it is. Again, a brilliant architecture, you can see. And here is Palace of Fine Arts, San Francisco. California, in fact, it is full of amazing stuff. Okay. Oops, what happened? Okay, here we are. Okay, so full of amazing stuff. So this Palace of Fine Arts, they say that they have built it for some kind of exhibition and then later abandoned it. What a rubbish story. You can see that this is a massive thing. And you can see it's all open in all the sides. It's open in all the sides. And if why would somebody build such a structure? And guess what? It is not a what do you say, a temporary structure. This is built to last. You can see the tiny humans over here, right? Okay, here there are tiny humans, and you can see that trees are growing over here, which means that they are pretty old structures, older than what these people are saying. Where are we again lost? Okay. All right, so here it is. Just zoom in. You can see that very tiny people, and this is a massive doorway, huge doorway, much bigger than what we saw earlier. And look at these decorative urns, right? Jars, amazing stuff. And these are the two people. Of course, I just shaded this out for copyright issues. They are massive, right? This is the size of a human being. You can say this is like, say, 6 feet. These are massive. These are more than 10 feet tall. And how did they get this to that? And also you can see that the joints are perfect. These lines are perfect lines. And columns, massive columns. Okay, so here is a very old photograph. This is some kind of an amphitheater. Look at the size of that building. Huge amphitheater. And inside that there is a tree. Okay, they are growing trees inside this. And here are the people, absolutely small. Do you really think these tiny mini people have built these giant structures? That's highly questionable, because look at the height of each floor, right? If this is some kind of exhibition, as they claim it is, then why build such a huge, very tall ceilings? See, this is like several times. This must be at least 50 feet tall, right? Each one. And this one is even more tall. And this is even more. That circular architecture is even more. Why go to all these lengths to build this place? Okay, so my obvious conclusion is that this was not built by this population at all. Somebody else have constructed it over here. And these people simply came and they are enjoying this facility. I don't think they have any clue who built it or what happened. Just like ourselves, we also don't have a clue. And this is in Germany. Okay, so this is somewhere in late 1800s, I think, or early 1900s. You can see this particular structure, very similar to the one before, right? It has a dome-like structure, and they are constructing it. It is in the middle of construction. And you can see the geometrical perfection of it, right? It's a marvelous engineering. It's very difficult to achieve this kind of perfection even in modern days. Look at the curvature, no error anywhere. It's absolutely perfect. And you can see that inside this, let me show you what, you must be familiar with the Zeppelin, right? A blimp. So in late 1800s, people have been traveling across oceans commercially using blimps. Okay, so blimp travel even today is one of the safest and best air travel possible. But of course, they destroyed the whole thing through this Hindenburg accident, which was again created. There was no accident. The blimp did not Zeppelin did not catch fire by itself. There was a big problem, and you can see these are the aeroplanes parked here. Okay, so all kinds of aircrafts. Okay, you can see them here. This again some kind of industrial what do you say exhibition going on, and Zeppelins are parked over here. And this completely is out of place. Okay, I don't know. When I saw these photographs, I really don't know what to make of this. The history I have been told is not fitting into any of this, right? Why do these things even exist now? And here is that another building which has very similar structure to this one in Germany, but this one is somewhere in Russia. Okay, so 1896, and yeah, as you can see, it is the same kind of structure. Okay, so a three-part building with awesome arches. Okay, so this one has some extra things over here, more arches, and the arches seem to be the most popular thing in all these structures. And this is supposed to be division day machines. Okay, this is supposed to be some kind of a industrial exhibition hall. But even then, see, I am unable to get to this one, but this is fully ornated, right? Same kind of elaborate frills and all kind of very nice structures, even at the top, right? It is the result of people who have been living in opulence for a very long time. It is only by such a population, a wealth of engineering knowledge, engineering skill sets, and exceptionally good tools, you can build, you can make these kind of structures. Otherwise, it's not possible. If you're looking at Iron Age, Bronze Age, this kind, that age, this age, this is not possible. Even today, if you want to build a structure of this kind, there aren't many construction companies which can help you do this. And here is a very odd man out. This particular building is somewhere in North Korea. Okay, you can see that there is nobody around. Okay, this is a massive structure again, a very tall structure. It's more like a hotel. They said that this was a hotel which was abandoned. Complete rubbish story again. You can see that there is some kind of antenna on the top. This is some kind of a technical building basically. And this particular shape must be having some purpose of which I have no idea why it is. And this is built on a slope. I think this is again a case of mud flood. The mud was coming in and flooded the building. Probably this building was much deeper and much larger underneath. And here is somewhere in Belgium. This is a human size. Okay, the ones which we saw so far, there are giant sizes. This is one in human size. And again, there is abandoned house. And it's very similar to the Chettinad houses in South India. Of course, those are modern construction, but this one is not. This is a 18th century, 19th century construction or 17th century construction, and it's a brilliant architecture. It's a beautiful place, and it is completely abandoned. Again, you can see the geometric perfection. And on this is a sidewalk, you can see absolutely alignment even after the 200 years probably. And you can see the work on the pillars. And these beams are standing exactly erect after all this time. Okay. And if you see this ceiling, these are all not flat ceilings like what we are having. And what is the purpose of having these kind of ceilings? Does it enhance our human energy? In what way is it helping us? They have gone to enormous lengths to design it this way. Even if you zoom in, you can see the absolute perfection. The curvatures are absolute perfection. Not a single stone, brick out of place. is perfectly aligned, perfectly cemented, and it has been existing for a very, very long time. And this one is in Spain, Granada, Spain, right? Oh, this another place which I think we should go in person and see. Giant arches, giant doorways, and incredibly amazing inscriptions and artwork, right? And people still think that this is all done by hand. Okay, there is no way on earth you can really do any of this by hand. Okay, so there is some kind of a machine involved, fully automated machinery of a massive size and complexity about which we have no idea. Only such things, only through that we can achieve this kind of perfection and scale of this kind of artwork. And Fatehpur Sikri Fort. Okay, so this is in India again. That is again massive doorway, and you can see tiny people over here. And for what purpose were they building these? Okay, my guesswork is it was not built by the humans, nor probably it's a mix of normal size humans and there are other big size humans, and they have built these. And here is a proof for the buildings which are built on top of other buildings. You can see that there are buildings built underneath this particular building. I think they have dug up this place to make a road, I think. And then all the structure came out. And you can see that the building was built on top. I'm sure if you dig this much deeper, you are going to find more and more building inside. Whenever they come across this kind of things, right, they immediately stop the work. They immediately stop, they will cover everything up and they will put cement on top of it, and that's it. You will never see what is inside. Okay, so here is another same kind of architecture, amazing architecture, somewhere in Germany. You can see a beautiful structure on the top, and again, you can see where the humans are, right? These are the humans, tiny people. These windows are larger than our human doorways. Again, massive structure. And you can say, why should somebody build it like this? What is the purpose of building something on top of this one for no purpose? Is it just for people come there and stand and look around? It doesn't make sense. Your views are anyway blocked. And there are so much of other places to go and stand. Why this? Why this architecture? We really do not know. This knowledge is completely lost. Okay, so the point is this is somewhere in Germany, and this building is in Japan. You can see it is almost ditto of what is there in Germany. Even the color and these works and the architecture, everything is the same. Okay, so there are some differences in the way, I mean, these are slight differences. See, here is only one guy standing, and here there are multiple people standing. So except that, the overall structure is exactly the same. You can see the window architecture, even the handrails and these kind of things. They're all the same. Handrails and these kind of things, they're all the same. Okay. Now, who built this one in Germany, and then they went all the way over to Japan and built this? That doesn't make any sense, right? And look at it. So from the side view, you can see that there is another structure over here. This is very likely copper, I think, the copper roofing. And this is in Japan building, and Germany also. You can see the same kind of building, the same spot in relation to this entrance. It is there over there. So this is a particular architecture which is known, and for some reason they were following this architecture. So now again we have lost all this knowledge, or the knowledge is hidden from the public in today's world. And we should reclaim all this, right? We have to reclaim this. So I hope you got a sense of what I am saying. Okay, so we need to kind of build a coherent story out of what we are actually observing, and completely ignore the mainstream narratives. All these history books, and I think we should simply have to throw these things out and then start from scratch and look at all these things and start working it backwards. Who built this? Why? I mean, what purpose and all those things. I think we have to do that. That is the only way of reclaiming our original history. And I think we have been devolving from a very glorious civilization we had in the past. There is no reason why we should be suffering under this current system of slavery, money-based slavery system, and the farce of democratic systems, right? There is no real democracy. We are all slaves, basically. So we have to go back to this era where people existed for at least many hundreds of years, if not thousands of years, in peace and prosperity. Then only these kind of architectures and magnificent structures will evolve. Then only people can think of these kind of things. Okay, so the third thing I want to highlight are giants. Okay, so we already saw a bunch of giant buildings, and this one really is amazing. You can see the window size and the size of these people, and they say that they have built these structures for for what purpose they have built. Where did they get this technology? These guys are still running around in bicycles. If you really zoom in, you can see their okay, here this is not high resolution, but their face expression is like, okay, I have been put in this place, I do not know what to do. Okay, let me explore what is there. That is the kind of attitude. They do not belong to this place, and they do not definitely own this place. They are simply sitting around. And again, this is an etched drawing. Okay, again you can see the size and grandeur, amazing. And these are our normal beings. This is somewhere in Madrid. And this is somewhere in England. Again, massive columns, huge structures, abandoned. Okay, so Revolex Abbey ruins. These must be explored. And you can see very perfect brickwork, stonework. And Ollantaytambo, this is an amazing place, and you can see that there are giant steps over here. Okay, so this cannot be climbed by humans. And who were these steps made for? We don't know. And see, these there is a small step stairway here. This is what humans use. Otherwise, they simply go and stand there. This is definitely not for agriculture. It is very stupid to say that this is agriculture. Why would you build something like this, even for you to unable to climb up, right? This is built in 2007, 92 feet, meters above sea level. It's a huge altitude. Why would you go build this? There is no other vegetation or anything of this in this area. And another giant step in the same location. You can see there is a small town that has sprung up. I think the major income for this town would be the tourism. And you can see there are more steps over here. Okay, they're all giant steps, and people would come like this. And you can see smaller steps for people to climb up. And the same, this another one from another angle. Here I just want to draw your attention to a couple of things. Apart from these giant steps, which have no explanation, you can see these things, right? Absolutely perfect matching. Okay, you can't put even a paper through this. It's absolute fit, perfect fit. And the second one is, these are projections from the stone. Okay, so it has come out of the stone. Okay, so as if they have removed all the other part of the stone and left only these. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know how these projections are made. We have no idea about that technology. And also the way it is being put together, right? I have a feeling that these stones were not in solid state when they were put up. Okay, or they have been put up and somehow made into a semi-liquid state or something like that, so that they can just flow, somewhat flow lightly and make this perfect fit. That's what it looks like. I mean, that is all speculation. We really don't know who built this and with what technology they have built and why it is completely ruined now. Yeah, none of these questions are really have any answers. The same staircase from another angle. Okay, this is the staircase. Yeah, how are you going to do any agriculture over here? It is very strange. There is no place for you to run irrigation, nothing. It is just out of nowhere these structures are there. And in the same area, Peru, there is another place called More. Okay, so they have this beautiful circular steps. Okay, this is huge. Again, these are massive steps. You can see these people, tiny people over here, right? They're very small people running around in these paths. Okay, this size is amazing, and the same geometrical perfection. Okay, so everywhere is a hallmark of these structures. Well, you see the match between this, absolutely perfect matching. And this from another angle, you can see there is some kind of a structuring here. Okay, and this one. What was there inside this? I don't know. There must be something very important that must have been here. And this is another angle. Awesome. Okay, so there is a beauty. What a beauty it is. The thing is, you know what this official narrative is? They say that the local king has built this particular structure to make foreign plants to adopt to this surroundings in this particular area. they did not even try to come up with something believable. Okay, complete crap explanation, official narrative. And of course, in this age of people who have been totally indoctrinated with television, who still think this stupid 19 is a real deal, of course, they will believe anything that comes out of this mainstream narrative, right? But this is amazing stuff. We don't know who built this, for what purpose it was built, but I'm glad that this structure is still standing for us to see, at least to visually see that, wow, these kind of people actually existed. And this is again ancient from Egypt. You can see that there are three human beings, okay, and here is this guy sitting over here. If you look at it, they are very small compared to this guy. Okay, this guy must be about 20 feet tall at least. If we assume that these people are like 5 to 6 feet, he must be massive if he stands up and he holds some kind of stuff in his hand. Okay, so this clearly shows that giants are mentioned in our past history. And here is a photograph, I mean not photograph, painting somewhere from Tartaria, Russia. The Tartaria is the part which is beyond Russia towards North Pole. Okay, so this is the Tartarian drawing. And why does this drawing even exist, right? Look at the size of this lady, these two ladies, huge, massive size. And this is a adult lady over here, standing here, seems to be a human being, right? They are giving something. Why does this exist? And look at this photograph, right? Why does this particular edge engraving actually exist? These are human beings, and here is this guy sitting around, and he is actually eating. Probably this is cooked human body. I have no idea what it is. The giant plate. There's hot food over here, and this guy already has a giant plate over here and eating this guy. And there are more people over here, I think, ready for him to eat. You must have seen this kind of ornament. This is worn by the Freemason Society in today's times. You can see Freemasons wearing exactly the same thing. So again, there is no explanation, not much of an explanation, why this guy is such a giant size compared to these guys, and why does this engraving even exist? And this is from Japan, actual photograph. You can see that this is a small lady and this is a massive, again, big guy. Okay, big guy really. and this is somewhere near World War One, I think. This guy is so big. This is an adult people standing around, and these are again two big people. And among these people, so even now giant people exist. Okay, so this is our current times. You can see the height. This is not normal by any standard. You cannot say this is a tall human being. Absolutely not. This is a different genetic makeup, basically, right? So is this lady. You can see huge, huge size. And look at these people also exist. Okay, these are our contemporary times. Huge people. And again, this is, I think this is a brilliant proof or evidence for giants to human beings. Okay, so this is somewhere near, I think, above Thailand. I think, I'm not sure where I picked up this photograph from, but you can see that these walls are giant walls, and they are made absolutely perfect, the same geometrical perfection. Of course, it's all broken, but you can see the original structure, how perfect it must have been. Okay, and you can see that there are 3 entrances made. Okay, there's a big one, huge, and slightly lesser one, and even less. And this itself is huge for humans. Okay, so you can see this is how big the human is. Okay, you can see this is the doorway for humans to enter, actually. Small doorway. And this itself is a big doorway for us. And this is much bigger, and this is even much bigger. Who built the original structure? And what was inside this particular structure that 3 successive generations, or not even generations, we don't even know the timelines, right? So 3 groups of people at different times have built these kind of entrances to this one. What was there inside? We have no idea, and why it is broken like this. That also we don't know. And this is the side view. You can see the massive size of these walls, and these are brick walls, right? If you really go and look at it, you can see these are red bricks, and these are also red bricks. Small size red bricks, which means that whoever has built it, the size of the red bricks seems to be our human size red bricks, right? It's not like giant big stones. Again, on the other side, you can see only one entrance. Only one entrance here, also only one entrance. Amazing structure again. Okay, so here it is. Here is, I think, this is a real clincher as far as the proof for giants to exist. Okay, these are all big teacups, I would say. This on Indonesia. This is like 6 feet tall. Okay, there's a big ones. And why are they even made? Who made these? And they are perfect stone. They also have these kind of coverings. So you take this and put it on top of it, and that is how you cover your drink. Okay, so it is there. You can see there are ornated cup covers. You take this and put it on top of this so that you keep your drink warm or something. It is there. It's way beyond our human size. We can't even, you need a big crane to even lift this. This must be more than a ton at least. So who made this? We don't know. And they don't look like very old either. Okay, so these don't look very old either. And here are some giant books. Okay, so these books are really huge. And there is no way human beings can very easily handle these books. And the prints are also very big. Okay, it's not of our, realm at all. It's somebody else's realm. It has come to us. We don't know what thing is. We can't even lift, one man cannot lift one of these books. They're really very heavy stuff. Again, this is somewhere in Middle East. You can see these old books. Very nicely, very nice handwriting and very well formatted, right? Again, big, huge books. You can see the big words. Why would people waste paper writing like this? And again, this is a giant book, Codex Gigas, right? It's a huge book where they describe about this, what do you say, bad, evil Satan thing. Okay, the devil. Yes, this is supposed to be a devil. But I don't know what to make of it, but this is the only thing they show from this book. Ah, this is a devil. This devil has been described in this book. What about the other content? Nobody knows what the other content is. And look at this book. It's a huge book. Probably this is probably the largest book ever found in the world, I think. You need to have, what do you say, special hooks to keep this thing open even. And look at this gun. Can any human being actually wield this gun and shoot it? Who was wielding these guns? And this is just an example. These giant guns are all over the place. Who are actually using it? One man cannot even lift this gun. Okay, that's such a large gun. Okay, so that's what I want to summarize. Mainstream history is a pile of real rubbish, and there are so many anomalous structures, objects, and other things which are pointing to our true history. And definitely giants existed, and they existed in recent times also. And even now, the same kind of genetics continue in many places, just that they are not shown in the mainstream media. And we have to really go back and relook at these things from the grounds up, literally. Then only we will be able to rebuild our world view as how things existed before. Okay, and definitely there was a worldwide civilization that existed, and the remnants from these civilization even exists today. And that civilization is almost equally or much more evolved and more advanced than what we have today. Okay, so very likely this civilization included all kind of beings, including very big people, our size people, and much bigger people. So just to put together all these things, we are living on a flat earth. And there were giants in the past, even in recent times, and there were worldwide civilization that existed, probably multiple waves of the civilization that existed. There are star forts, there are these kind of amazing architectures that are existing now. So we have to kind of go back and rebuild from all these things. Okay, so let me stop over here. For now, and definitely I intend to continue in multiple parts of other amazing stuff. We will go through that. So here are some of my previous presentations. I would suggest you go back and look at all these things. Especially I would encourage in today's, in the context of this presentation, look at the flat earth presentation as well as the scams you believe in. The world is not what you think it is. These two are important for today's context, in this session's context. Please have a look. And as I said, I don't know how long I will be there on Facebook and YouTube. You can find me on BitChute over here. I'll upload this presentation. You can take a look at it. And here are some of the references. You can download this Google Earth file, and it will load it up, and you can browse the star forts all by yourself. Okay, and these are some this one. And you can see Mudfossil University is again very advanced channel. Very likely you may not be able to appreciate it right now, but keep exploring all these things, star forts and giants. Okay, so that's all I had for today, and thank you very much for listening in.